Hey, 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 happy Monday! Come on in, pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host here at the Gaming Gang Dispatch. Brought to you by, amazingly enough, thegaminggang.com. So welcome aboard. Tonight is Monday, October 18th, 2021. This is live stream number 704. Thanks for swinging in to join me tonight. We are going to be taking a first look at the new edition of Galaxy Trucker from Czech Games Edition. So that's coming up in just a little bit. Do want to mention, this is your first time joining me for the show. If you are popping in live, first of all, welcome aboard. But second, we tackle the latest in tabletop gaming news first around here. So about the first half of the show, sometimes a little bit more than the first half, is devoted to the latest in tabletop gaming news. Then we move on and take a first look at a tabletop game. And as I just mentioned, tonight will be a first look at the second edition of Galaxy Trucker. So there is that. Easy peasy. So I should also point out, if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, ding that bell. It'll not only let you know when the dispatch streams live, it'll also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my first look at Warhammer 40K Wrath and Glory, Litanies of the Lost. That's right. This was the video that went up yesterday. Took a first look at this. This is a collection of 4 standalone adventures, although you can tie them together as a campaign as well. And they are for tier 1 and 2 characters. Should also mention you've only got a couple of days left to, well, 3 days, I guess we'll say, to get into the running to win my copy of Dungeons and Dragons Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. I knew I was going to say Guide to Dragons one day. Gone all this time without saying it. Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. This is the alternate art cover. I am giving it away. And all you need to do is check out my first look video to learn how to get into the running. And I got to point out, it's pretty easy, not difficult at all whatsoever. So there is that. Also want to mention, we are in the midst of the Gaming Gang October Spooktacular 2021. That's right, each and every day, you're going to find a brand new video related to tabletop gaming over on thegaminggang.com. Now, it could be a first look, could be a review, or if it's Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, it's this show. But each and every day over at thegaminggang.com, and of course, right here on the Gaming Gang YouTube channel, you're going to find a brand new tabletop gaming related video. Also, every evening at 9 p.m. Central, I'll be hosting a spooky old-time radio episode destined to put a chill down your spine. So last night, I posted what I feel is the creepiest old-time radio show ever. Ever. The thing on the Forble board from Quiet Please from 1948. So if you have never heard it, give it a listen. If you are in the Halloween mood, by all means, swing over to thegaminggang.com. Check it out. Each and every night, I've got something creepy and weird and ooky for you to listen to. Tonight is tonight's an episode of Escape from, I want to say, I think this one's from also from 48, and it's Lenigen versus the Ants, based on a classic short story. All right. Other thing I do want to mention is when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com, because not only will you find the spooktacular taking place, you'll also find reviews, news, things that you won't catch here on the Dispatch, such as reviews from other contributors, which now we've got a trio of PDF reviewers for role-playing games. So we've got that. Very cool. You won't catch up on, on those here. So by all means, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com. And of course, this is a live stream. So if you are watching live, there is chat available. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay, but I do my best to pay attention to chat. So if you'd like to say howdy, by all means, feel free, chime in. I will do my best to respond. So far, looks like the Madman is hanging out in chat. Looks like kind of quiet in chat tonight. Maybe everybody's getting ready for, everybody's watching the ball game, getting ready for Monday Night Football. You never know. So the Madman says they finally caught up with the old-time radio shows, and his daughter actually sat down to listen every other weekend when she's home from college. That's cool. So yes, you'll have to definitely let me know what you thought of the thing on the Forble board. Because for me, the creepiest part of the whole story is kind of hinted at. They don't come out and say it, but it's sort of hinted at. And if you think about it, it's like, ugh, ugh, ugh. All right. So also want to mention that through most of the month of October, the Gaming Gang and the Gaming Gang Dispatch are sponsored by...
RockCon is back the weekend of October 22nd to the 24th in Rockford, Illinois. Come out for a great weekend of gaming, including historical, fantasy, and sci-fi miniatures, role-playing, war games, and a wide variety of games for the whole family. Buy and sell at the silent auction on Saturday. Vendors from around the region will be available for your shopping pleasure. Don't miss out on all the fun. Visit rock-con.com for details.
Yes, RockCon is taking place this weekend, October 22nd, 23rd, and my birthday on the 24th. I will be there on the 22nd and 23rd for sure. Not positive if I will be there on the 24th or not. Found it really interesting. There's actually 3 conventions all going on within about 150 miles of each other in the Chicago area and then up into Wisconsin. Going to talk about that in a little bit. But I will be at RockCon. Hopefully, if you have an opportunity to check it out, please do. There's going to be wargaming, miniatures gaming, board games, role-playing games. It's going to be a lot going on. Once again, it is RockCon this weekend in Rockford, Illinois. Yes, Sarah D's with us. So Sarah says it's Monday. Everybody's recovering from their day. I don't know. We usually have a pretty good crowd on Mondays. I gotta say, sometimes it's the game. It's like, sometimes it's like, oh, Galaxy Trucker, that game's old. That game's been out for, like 15 years, man. Not this edition. This is a brand new edition. So hello to Sarah, and if Mr. Eddie T is floating around, a tip of the cap to him as well. So let's jump on into the news, because coming from Paizo Inc. in December is a Pathfinder-themed party game. Yes, you heard me right. It's a Pathfinder-themed party game. Here's what I know about Goblin Firework Fight. Paizo presents an all-new fast-paced party game, Pathfinder Goblin Firework Fight. Goblins have come to the town of Sandpoint, intent upon stealing their fireworks for an upcoming festival. Do you have the goblin grit to pillage your way to victory and emerge from the town with the most fireworks? Pathfinder Goblin Firework Fight is a quick party game of theft and mayhem featuring the world-famous Pathfinder goblins. Pillage loot from the town or from your fellow goblins, but watch out. The other goblins are just as likely to steal from you. This fast-paced, laugh-inducing party game brings the popular Pathfinder goblins to a much wider audience. It is the first standalone board game from Paizo in years. It also includes full-color illustrated cards and tokens to immerse players in the goblin action. Gotta be honest, this is all I've got. Just this image. There's no player count, no age range, no length of playtime that I understand. Nothing's been indicated just yet, but strangely enough, and this is kind of the opposite of what we usually find, I do have an exact release date and MSRP. Usually we get player count, age range, length of play, don't know when it's coming, don't know the MSRP. Well, that's not the case here. It is arriving in stores on December 8th, and it's going to carry an MSRP of $29.99. Sweet. I'm going to take a guess. This is probably going to be, I'm just going out on a limb here, 4 to 8 players, maybe more, but I highly doubt it's going to be fewer than 4 because it is a party game and you're stealing fireworks from each other and the town. Now, here's what I'm trying to remember. And keep in mind, I am not necessarily versed at all in first edition Pathfinder, but wasn't Sandpoint, wasn't that the beginning like town in Rise of the Rune Lords? For some reason that name is popping in my head. I'm not positive. Somebody out there, either in chat or in the comment section, let me know. I just want to say that that's the town from Rise of the Rune Lords. So the madman was pointing out that the end to the thing on the affordable board was unexpected. Yes, it was. One of the things I like about that series, and it was not on very well. Okay, I take that back. It was on for like 3 years. I like how on many of the stories, the listener is actually kind of an active participant in the story. Like in Thing on the Affordable Board, you're somebody who's sitting, listening to someone telling you something that had happened, as opposed to it's sometimes kind of stream of consciousness as well. But yes, it's like I said, it's a cool story. And let's just say the sounds at the end are like, wah! What the hell is that? Madman says Goblin Firework Fight Party Game. Sounds like it could be fun. And for $30, they think it's worth checking out. Madman also points out they've got the first edition of Galaxy Trucker and had a lot of fun with it. I understand it's streamlined, takes a little less time to play. We'll find out more as we jump on in. 245 Trioxin has joined us. Good to see you, 245. Says Sandpoint was from Rise of the Rune Lords. That's right, the Swallowtail Festival. Yes, I was quite a while back was using this is 3-4 years ago. I was trying to get my nephew and my best friend Elliot and some of my nephew's friends going on kind of my own like old school Renaissance role-playing game, concoction. And I started to use Rise of the Rune Lords to, as the introduction, right? As my kind of baseline adventure. And that's why I seem to remember that. And the Swallowtail Festival that the goblins attack. Oh, spoilers. On to our next news piece. Arriving in stores this week, supposedly this week, with shipping dilemmas, I'm not positive. But supposedly arriving in stores this week from Portal Games is a very interesting looking set collecting game that features a pretty cool kind of dark art style. And I am talking about Dreadful Circus. Here's the skinny. No longer do you anxiously await the arrival of the wicked, for they have just arrived. In the dead of night, the gloom rolls in. Melodies whisper in slow rhythms as children wake from their slumber. Leaping from their beds, they rush to their parents and startle them awake. The mix of fear and excitement fills the room. The lure of exotic sweets wafts in on the warm summer wind. The lives of this dull, small town are revitalized. My gosh. What is their world's like just, a living hell until this carnival shows up? The lives of this dull, small town are revitalized with the anticipation of this dreadful circus. Sounds like something wicked this way comes. By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes. I know, I'm silly. Dreadful Circus is a set collection card game in which players try to create the most successful circus. I guess creepy too. The game comes with a unique twist. Over the course of the game, players buy cards that have special final scoring rules. As the game progresses and more cards are gained, each player develops their very own final scoring rules. No game is the same, and no player at the table scores the same way. Dreadful Circus is for 4 to 8 players. Surprised that the player count is that high to get started with this, because this sounds really interesting, but sometimes it's kind of tough to get 4 people to the table, or 8, This for ages 14 and up, plays in around 30 to 40 minutes. It is going to carry an MSRP of $35. As I mentioned when I started talking about this, it's supposed to be in stores this week. It's supposed to be releasing this week. That is according to some distributors out there. I don't know if that's going to be the case because, once again, we've got all these supply chain issues going on. So I don't know. Coming soon from Draco Ideas is Tetrarchia. I believe that is how it's pronounced. Here's the details. By the end of the 3rd century, the Roman Empire is doomed. We're doomed. I'm glum. We're doomed. Extra points for anybody who gets that reference. Enemies surround the borders. Instability spreads over the provinces. And whenever a Roman emperor fights a threat, usurpers take his place in Rome. The Emperor Diocletian only sees one revolutionary way out. And yes, I know how to pronounce Diocletian. Share the power with Maximian and Constantinus and Galerius, forming the first tetrarchy. Now their enemies are doomed. Tetrarchia, rule of 4 in Latin, is a cooperative game in which 1 to 4 players take the role of the 4 emperors, fighting the revolts within the empire and the barbarian armies that try to bring it down. With easy rules, the core engine leads to very different games full of interesting choices with up to 81 difficulty levels. You heard me right. 81 difficulty levels. The Draco Ideas edition also includes the Dux expansion, now with 4 independent modules, Dux, Vicarious, Pirates, and Goths, plus 6 independent variants, including a new competitive one, Barbaria, which holds up to 5 players, so you get an extra player in there, plus 4 updated historical scenarios. Carcassian Revolt, the Nubian Wars, Mauritanian War, and the Great Persian War. Combinations are countless. The flow of each emperor's turn is very simple. Spend up to 6 Imperium points to move, sail, secure, subdue, or attack, and then propagate threats with a roll of 2 dice. The players win if they secure the borders of the empire before the majority of provinces revolt or Rome falls. Tetrarchia is for 1 to 4 players, or 5 if you're using that variant. Ages 10 and up, plays in around 20 to 40 minutes, and will carry an MSRP of around $39.99 when it arrives later this year. Do you want to mention the fine folks over at Draco Ideas reached out to ask if I'd be interested in taking a look at this? I said I would. They also have from what I understand, a pretty heavy, I want to say it is, I think it's Help Arrives is the title of the game, but it's a relatively heavyweight Spanish Civil War game. So that is supposed to be coming my way as well. So both of these are supposed to be showing up for review. So let's move on into some role-playing game news, because available in print and PDF is World of Darkness Ghost Hunters. Here's the scoop. The abandoned lover waiting for her paramour to return only to die alone. Now she waits in her room forever. The murdered family killed in a spree so violent their spirits couldn't pass on to the hereafter, now wreaking an untampered revenge on anyone they find. The serial killer who never made his tally complete in life, now determined to possess the bodies of the living to continue his gruesome campaign. These ghosts and more haunt our world. They watch us, they torment us, they play with us. They find themselves locked in Scythian cycles where the only respite comes through the haunting of the living. It is our role to hunt these spirits down. Yeah, that's right. Damn you, spirits. We shall hunt you. We shall hunt you on the beaches, in the streets. Some believe they're laying them to a deserved rest. Others hunt for the renown and to put down the homicidal dead. Others believe they're doing God's work, or with every hunt, their knowledge of the paranormal world increases. We are ghost hunters, and regardless of our motives, it is our task to ensure the dead may no longer torture the living. Ghost Hunters includes a broad, deep history of ghost hunter cells and catalog of weapons and artifacts ghost hunters might use in the world of darkness. Playable options among the hunters that fight with bullets and blades, and those who fight with belief and supernatural power. Alongside them, those hunters who would track, cage, and study the dead. There's a range of story hooks and rich storytelling advice for those who wish to run a game of Ghost Hunters set alongside any of the World of Darkness games. There's also an appendix containing a selection of antagonists your Ghost Hunters may come to face. The 158-page premium hardcover is available right now over at Drive-Thru RPG for $44.99. I believe that also includes the PDF currently. Or you can grab just the PDF for $14.99. I believe this utilizes the 20th anniversary World of Darkness system. So it is not the 5th edition Vampire the Masquerade rules. It is the 20th anniversary World of Darkness. So it's important for you to keep that in mind. But this is brand new. This is not like a rehash or anything like that. So the madman's asking if I was channeling a bit of Churchill tonight. Yeah, I guess I was. We will fight you. I can't do Churchill. I can like, regale you with Churchill's stories and speeches and that, but I can't do an impersonation of it. On to our last news piece, because available right now in print and PDF at Dungeon Masters Guild, or those of us that know like to refer to it as DM's Guild, is Not Another Monster Quest, Volume 1, Kobolds, Goblins, and Bugbears. Here's what you can look forward to. Kobolds and goblins and bugbears, oh my. I guess I could try to do George Takai. Oh my. The world of Dungeons and Dragons has so many fascinating creatures to explore and interact with, but more often than not, those creatures labeled as monstrous are seen as nothing more than a bag of experience points for adventurers to carve through in their quest to further expand and explore the world around them. Yes, that is how murder hobos approach role playing games. Very rarely are these creatures presented in a positive light, and even more rarely as individuals with their own stories to tell. This disconnect is further widened by the ability for players to create characters from these so called monstrous races, often labeling player characters as outcasts or individuals who are able to break free of their monstrous origins and find a more civilized way of being. With Not Another Monster Quest, we seek to showcase these monstrous races in a wide spectrum of colors and personality types, not just automatically quantifying them as evil because of how they look or their background. Evil is not something that should be prescribed to an entire race of beings, with a handful of them, usually player characters, being quantified as good. Just as in our world, theirs is filled with people of every size, shape, color, class, and creed, and that should not be dictated by the ancestry that they were born into. In these pages, you'll find cozy kobold merchants, goofy goblin miners, and a whole host of bugbear buddies to help enrich your world and stories. So we invite you to turn the page and step into a world filled with possibilities and wonder as we break the mold, delving further into how we define these monstrous characters. It includes a plethora of content for even the most seasoned adventurers. Help a bugbear open an inn. It's kind of funny at it. Help a bugbear out and in and out, open an inn, open an in and out burger. No, I have not been drinking. Track an old witch's runaway hut. Is that Baba Yaga? Maybe. Buy fireworks from a cat-loving goblin. Cats taste good. What can I tell you? No, he doesn't love them like that. With over 88 pages of content, Not Another Monster Quest is jam-packed full of adventures, encounters, and NPCs for your players to experience. It includes 4 adventures ranging from Tier 1 to Tier 3, 8 NPCs, each with their own rich history and backstory for your players to befriend or earn their ire. 16 colorful encounters ranging from exploration to social and combat. There's something for everyone. Also included are 17 pieces of original artwork and maps. The 88-page Not Another Monster Quest Volume 1, Kobolds, Goblins, and Bugbears, is available in print and PDF at DM's Guild for $14.95. So here's the dealio. You can get the PDF for $14.95. You could get the soft cover, which I believe is full color, for $14.95. Or you can get both of them together right now, possibly for a limited time, I don't know, for $14.95. So, of course, you'd want to go with the latter. And I do believe there is a second volume of Not Another Monster Quest that arrives, I think it's either next week or week after that. So we've got another one on the horizon. This could be kind of interesting. I don't know if I necessarily completely buy into the whole, well, no fantasy race can be mainly evil. I mean, I understand where people are coming from. I get it. But I also do understand that most fantasy literature, let's say, for an example, Lord of the Rings, or we could say The Hobbit, right? Goblins are evil. Orcs are evil. Wargs are evil. Although the wargs really aren't sentient, but still. But I see where they're coming from. This could, like I said, could be kind of interesting. It's got some adventures in it. It's got some NPCs. It probably has some interesting aspects to it that you could steal for whatever role-playing game you play or run. So I thought it looked kind of cool. So I wanted to share that news piece with you. All right, that is it for the news. Of course, I was just talking about DM's Guild and the Gaming Gang, thus the Dispatch, happens to be affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you are going to visit, say, Drive Through RPG or DM's Guild, by all means, please stop by thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banner ads. That way, if you happen to make a purchase, I get a little portion of that sale. And all those nickels, dimes, and quarters really do add up and help keep thegaminggang.com around. Also, should mention that the Halloween, kind of like, I guess, their spooktacular is different this year. So what it used to be is that it would start, and then you had to go on like a little bit of a almost kind of like a hunt across the different One Bookshelf websites to find these little icons. And of course, every year I would post an article telling you, okay, here's where you find the stuff and this is what you get. So I'd be like, oh, so if you go to your account page and change your address, go to that page and there's a little ghost, click on that ghost and you get whatever PDF. They're not doing that this year. This year, it's not every site. It is, as far as I could tell, right now, it is only Drive Through RPG, DM's Guild, and Storyteller's Vault. And of course, Storyteller's Vault is World of Darkness stuff. Every day on Drive Through RPG, it changes. And there are 6 items. So all you need to do is click on their banner for the Halloween sale. It'll take you to that page first. And you can select each of the 6 individually. They'll add them to your cart for no cost. And then on that page, it allows you to continue on to the sale because almost everything is on sale. And that changes every day. So far, I have noticed every day it's something different. Over at DM's Guild, it doesn't seem to change every single day. And it seems like at least one of the items at DM's Guild, because there's like 2. There's 2 free items on DM's Guild. One of them happens to be something that's already free on Drive Through RPG. On Storyteller's Vault, it looks like it's 6 items, and that's what it's going to be for the duration. So I have checked every day for the past, I think it kicked off on Friday. So I have checked every day and it's remained the same. So I think they're just going to be the same. But hey, every day is something different over on Drive Through RPG, knock on wood. Not too shabby. Already they had the 2nd edition of Fear itself as a free download. Today there is something, I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's like 400 pages. It's like, man, that's a huge PDF. So there are some items that are, $15, $20 normally that you can get absolutely free. So not too shabby. Pretty sweet. All right. Something else I do want to mention. If you like this video, if you like the channel, if you like the website, if you like what I do, by all means, you can certainly buy me a cup of coffee or a soft drink by swinging on over to paypal.me/thegaminggang. And we do have some folks out there who from time to time really help out. And I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. So the man says, nice, can't beat free. Yeah, I just thought it was very strange that, the One Bookshelf sites changed things up this year, which I guess is okay. Because if I remember correctly, I think on average, because sometimes they would duplicate stuff across the different websites. Wargame Vault almost never had a Halloween special. But Drive Through Fiction, Drive Through Comics, they all had it. I do not see it this year. So I think all in all, there were probably about 10 items on each site, 8 to 10. I think Drive Through RPG had a few more. I think maybe there were 12. And of course, a lot of it was like, oh, free comic. Okay. Free comic is something I've never heard of. Yeah, okay. But I mean, there's usually some pretty cool stuff too, though. All right. Let's move on to Galaxy Trucker. This is the second edition from Czech Games Edition, designed by Vlada Chvadl with artwork provided by Tomas Kucherovsky. I know I've mispronounced those. The game is for 2 to 4 players, ages 8 and up. Plays in 20 to 30 minutes. As I mentioned, this new edition has been streamlined to play quicker. It does carry an MSRP of $29.95. So something else with this new edition is the price is lower. It's got a much lower entry into checking this game out. So let's swing on over to the other camera because here I've got Galaxy Trucker. Omanal's popped into chat. Good to see you, Omanal. I should mention that Omanal is going to be one of our new role-playing game reviewers. So welcome, Omanal, to the gang. Officially part of the gang. In fact, I have the first review that I will be posting shortly. All right, so this is the new box. I'll be the first to point out, I have never played Galaxy Trucker. As I mentioned last week, my best friend Elliot Miller, he's got the game. I know he had played it before. He said it was pretty entertaining. So as far as I understand, and I could be completely wrong, but you begin by putting together a ship. You build a ship from just spare parts. And then you have to fly that ship around the galaxy, making deliveries. And as you progress, your ship's falling apart. So I believe you need to have some crew member, at least a crew member alive at the end. And I think you have to make some sort of profit. So as we can see, there's quite a lot of stuff in this box. It does have some serious heft. So Omanal says they were trying to catch up on an earlier show. All right, so we've got a deck of cards here. Looks like we probably have a trio of phases or rounds. Got an egg timer right there. So we've got that. Got some baggies. We've got little plastic astronauts. That is what those are. I'll zoom in. We'll get a closer look. It's like we've got some rockets. It's like we've got rockets, aliens. Okay, we'll get a closer look as well. Couple of 6-sided dice. What appear to be green gems. Or they're just little green plastic. I guess they're really not gems. They're almost like little drops. Some cubes. And small cubes. So we've got the Trucker's Guide to the Galaxy. Where's the Don't Panic button? Oh my gosh, right here it says don't panic. Or you know what? Go ahead, panic. Either way, we'd like you to know that you can learn to play just by reading the first half of this rule book. In fact, we've designed it so you can learn to play while you're reading. All right, nice. Bits and pieces. So for your first flight, and it says for professional truckers, equipment you can leave in the box while you're learning the game. So flight boards, 3 decks of adventure cards, the timer, The little alien figures, don't need those when you're learning how to play. Okay, so we got a component overview. So these are the different modules that you build your ship out of. These as well, storage, power, alien add-ons. Building your first ship. How to build. Welding connectors. Each component added to your ship must be placed on an empty square next to a component that is already part of your ship. It must join to your ship using one of the 3 types of connectors. So like so. So you have pipes, universal connector, 2-pipe connector, and then showing there's nothing there, so you could not connect it. So a bit of a tile laying aspect to it. Talking about the different components and what they do. It's kind of funny. Pop quiz. Now you know all the shipbuilding rules. You should be able to find 7 things wrong with the ship illustrated here. That's kind of cool. Preparing for launch. Time to get trucking. Give the adventure deck to the leader, the player whose ship is on space 1. The leader begins the adventure by reviewing the first card of the deck. Get the flight. Losing flight days, hits to your ship. Yes, because as you continue along, you take damage. Gaining goods, loss of goods or crew, perimeters of your ship. And then talking about the adventure cards, which I'm taking to guess are kind of like events that everybody has to deal with. Or possibly each player gets a card that they have to deal with. So we've got smugglers, examples of combat, journey's end, winning. Add up all your cosmic credits. If that number is 1 or more, you win. So everybody, there's more than one winner? Oh, no. Okay. Here we go. So, of course, the player who has the most credits is a bit more of a winner than everyone else. It's kind of funny. Something else that I do understand with this edition is that it's got much better localization. So it's far, far easier to understand the rules than wasn't it 2007 that this originally came out? So that first edition, little easier to understand how to play it from reading this. So we got some additional shipbuilding rules, aliens, additional adventure cards, giving up. Galaxy trucking is a risky business, and you should expect to take a few hard knocks. Just don't take too many. They will knock you out of the game. Dun, dun, dun. Omanal was asking if this is a cooperative game. No, this is a competitive game. Disavowed 92 is pointing out that this is a great game. Says the first edition had one of the greatest rule books ever. And yes, the most amount of money wins. So I'm pretty sure I said hello to Disavowed 92. Almost positive. All right, so we've got the freight hauler. So we got second flight, third flight. So I believe those are these cards. Because in the original game, you had to make so many trips. And now with this new edition, it plays much quicker because I want to say you're only taking one trip. So Omanal says their son won't play with Omanal if he can lose regularly. Come on, that builds character. Winning the trek. All right. Cool deal. So probably quite a few more pages than most people would expect. 23 in all. But a lot of examples. Looks like this is pretty much laying everything out for you, which I always appreciate. So there you go. So there is the rule book. We got more stuff in here. I can tell we got some punch boards. We got player boards. We've got a bit of a game board map, I think, or we flip it over. We'll see. So we got a quick reference guide. And we've got one copy of the quick reference guide, which is that's all right. That's okay. You can share it. It's not that big a deal. All right. We've got hey, what's this Lost Ruins of Arnak game? Huh. Love this game. This game is excellent. This is awesome. It was one of my favorite games of last year. If you checked out that video, normally early January, I'll do a couple of videos. One is my favorite board games of the prior year, and the other is my favorite role playing games of the prior year. And keep in mind, I always say my favorite. I don't say best, because to me, that everybody's opinion is different. But I really do like this game. There is a new expansion that's coming for it, Expansion Leaders, which they were hoping to have had at Gen Con, but that shipping issue did not make it. I don't even think it got to the US. All right, here we've got some different boards here. So I'm taking a guess. Is this for a different player count? Oh, okay. I think this is for a shorter game. It looks like we're just using one. I don't know. Hey, as I mentioned, I have not played this. I'm going to zoom in. Let's get a little better look at some of this. There we go. Grab a quick sip too. The Man says they have not picked up Arnak yet, but they think they have to. Off the top of my head, you can play it solo, if I remember correctly. I think. I'm pretty sure you can, if I remember right. So, once again, have no clue. Have no idea. Maybe this is for each of the flights. Because I see one down here. There's nothing on the back. So it doesn't say anything. So this says L. That's one. There we go. Then here's two. And then that's three. So and of course this is showing you how to set up the decks. What decks you're going to use. All right. So here we have a bunch of punch boards. I like the money. 10 cents. I do like that. And I like the fact that we have money tokens, not paper money. So Disavowed 92 says it tracks the game time and is a reference for what blocks what on the flight part. Okay. So we got 50 cents here, 2 cents. These are some of the components, which the angle I'm looking at, it almost has a 3D effect on these. But I mean, it's not, but just, I don't know, for some strange reason that kind of like jumps off the cardstock here. All right, so we've got dual sides on these. So those are kind of funny. The little astronaut. And here it looks like it's just kind of showing us one little icon. And then here, going into more detail. Or maybe one is basic and the other is advanced. So we've got that. We have more components. More money, money, money. And these are the connectors here. So you can see, got a connector there, nothing, and nothing on this tile. I believe there are more components as far as parts to your ship in this new edition as well. So it looks like a rocket. More cashola. Disavowed also points out that those boards track how much the colored cargo is worth at the end of the flight phase. All right, so we got more components here, more money. And then we have, yeah, they're just, for some reason, this feels like it folds open, but it doesn't. It's just pretty thick cardstock here. So here we have 1 and 2. I think each of the players gets one of these because we have 4 of them, just like so. And the 2 sides. We'll get as close in as we can, which isn't actually much further. Just give you a look at some of this. So, of course, it's just plastic cubes. So as Disavowed 92 has just pointed out, this is cargo. So, and they have different values, which correspond to the colors of these here. Yeah, amazing how you figure that out, huh? So these are the little drops. I'm going to show you what those look like. See, just like so. They almost do look like gems, but they're like little drop shapes. Then we've got the astronauts. So I think these represent your crew. All right, let's see if we can. I might be a little too. No, there we go. It's actually focusing in on it. So he's got a little face shield. He's got a little pack on his back. All right, so those are the astronauts or crew. So Disavowed said those are the player boards in which you build your space truck. Yeah, that I knew. And I guess the little green drops are energy. So Omen else says it looks like a little gummy bear. Kind of does. Kind of does look like a gummy bear. All right, so we've got, these look like rockets. And then we have some aliens. And I guess there's a little bit of detail to the aliens here. So these are no doubt for the player, for the players probably. Although it looks like, doesn't this match up with the money again? Didn't we have yellow? Yep, we do. So I don't know. Maybe. So maybe it's not. Nah, something's got to be a marker for each of the players. All right, so this is what the little rocket looks like. Hey, it's not a ton of detail on it, but sort of like that, and it just stands up. And then this is the little alien. So it's got a little face on it. All right, come on, autofocus. Come on, Sony, you can do it. Come on, Sony. Sony's actually pretty good at the autofocus. Move it all the way close in. Let's see, that's too close. Pull it back out. Wow, that's weird. It's not picking it up. Oh, now okay. As soon as I say something, then it does. Why I oughta. Damn you, Sony. No, I'm kidding. Sony's fine. Okay, so Disavowed says the brown aliens give an engine boost. The purple ones powered shotguns. Like I said, I've always heard this is a really good game. I just, never had an opportunity to play it. Usually when I'm over at Elliot's house, we've got other fish to fry. Usually got some stuff that has not been reviewed yet that we got to play. All right. So we have the player boards that you build your space truck on. Got all of these punch boards with the different ship components, or I guess we'll say space truck components, and money. We've got these other tracking boards. Got some advertising, quick reference guide, the rule book. Got the cargo cubes, as well as the rockets and aliens, the little power tokens, and our little astronauts, as well as some extra baggies for those. Oh, whoops. And almost forgot a couple of 6-sided dice. But this is for the tokens that we're going to end up punching out. And there is our timer. That's what we find when we take everything from the new edition of Galaxy Trucker outside the box. Of course, I will be playing this and getting a review out in the very near future. I might actually bring this with me to RockCon. In fact, I'm going to put some games in my car, just in case, I stumble across somebody and they're like, yeah, I'd like to play something. I'll be like, okay, well, I got this. So I'll bring that along. Very nice. Very nice. So that's it for this time out. I know. Show kind of flew by. We, kind of weird. The show's not even an hour long tonight. Well, by the time I wrap up, it'll be an hour. But kind of surprised. I felt a little longer than that. Viper Dave has joined us in chat. Howdy, Viper Dave. All right. So if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Oh, shoot. I forgot. I was talking about RockCon. I forgot to point out once again that the Gaming Gang and the Gaming Gang Dispatch throughout most of the month of October has been brought to you by RockCon, which takes place this weekend in Rockford, Illinois. I will be there on Friday and Saturday. Just not used to having a sponsor. It's like, So the Madman says they have a bag of board games they generally take with to a friend's house just in case. I normally will have a few different games in my car. Now that my nephew is in Texas I take that back. He's in Arkansas with his Air National Guard training. I don't keep as many games, but I do keep some of them that my mom likes in the car. So I know where you're coming from, Madman. I really, really do. All right. Anyway, I was going to say, if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, ding that bell. It'll not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live right here on YouTube, also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my first look at Warhammer 40K, Wrath and Glory, Litanies of the Lost, which is an adventure supplement for Wrath and Glory from Cubicle 7 Entertainment. Also do want to mention, you've got until the 20th to get into the running to win this copy of Dungeons & Dragons, Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. I didn't say Guide to Dragons this time. Fizban's Treasury of Dragons from Wizards of the Coast. All you got to do is check out my first look video to find out how to get into the running. gotta say, that video brought in a lot of people the past couple of days. I was like, holy jamoli. On average, normally the channel pulls in about 700, 750 views per day. And just yesterday we had 2,000. Well, we had like 2,200, something like that. So I was like, wow. I think the day before we had something like 1,400. And a lot of it was powered by the new D&D book, which I will have a review of on the 21st. So you can only get into the contest by the 20th. And then I will reveal who the winner is during my review. Tomorrow's show, we are going to be unboxing and taking a first look at Iberian Gauge from Capstone Games. This is the third title in the Iron Rail series of 18XX games. And I have heard good things about it. This is also very easy to get into as well. So just about 92 says, hey, another great game. Hey, I'm trying. Then on Wednesday, we are going to take a look at Rackham Vale, which I did a news piece about last week. And it has been sent my way. So this is an old school essentials. I mean, it's an OSR book, but it's kind of geared towards old school essentials. And it is fantasy role-playing, like adventures, encounters, and things like that, inspired by the artwork of Arthur Rackham. So how about that? And then we also have these cards, which we are going to take a look at. I think they contain like monsters and NPCs and stuff like that. So, and both of these are from Crowbar Creative. So we will take a look at that on Wednesday's show. Next week, I think what I am going to do is do the 3 shows. Each of the shows, I'm going to review a Call of Cthulhu release because it'll be the week before Halloween, some spooky stuff. And I think we'll do a Chaosium week. We did a Paizo week. Why don't we do a Chaosium week? So I think that's what we'll be doing next week on the show. Of course, things change, all depends. So stay tuned. Also, do want to remind you, we are in the midst of the Gaming Gang October Spooktacular 2021. Every night, 9 p.m. Central, swing over by thegaminggang.com as I host a spooky old-time radio show, which is guaranteed to put a chill down your spine. Last night's episode, I'm telling you, the creepiest old-time radio show I have ever heard. And the madman even pointed out that, yes, they thought it was a pretty good show. So tonight, it is going to be an episode of Escape from 1948. It is Lineagen versus the Ants. It's a pretty famous episode of Escape. All right. That's it for this time out. Anyway, if you were watching live, thank you very much. I always appreciate people hanging out, keeping me company, so I don't feel like a complete dork sitting here just talking to, nobody. So the madman says, yes, check out those radio shows. Lots of fun and chills. So if you were watching live, thank you very much. I always appreciate it. I always appreciate people taking part in chat as well. Thank you. I also know there's a lot of people out there do not have an opportunity to tune in while this stream's live. Doesn't matter when you watch. Thank you very much for taking some time out to watch this knucklehead pontificate in front of the camera for about an hour. It is much appreciated. I will be back tomorrow once again with a first look at Iberian Gauge. And until I see you next, here's hoping you're getting to enjoy tons of great gaming with your very own gang. I will see you tomorrow. Oh, you're still here. Well, while you're kicking it, how about subscribing to the Gaming Gang channel? Or seeing the latest episode of the Gaming Gang Dispatch? Or finding out what YouTube recommends you check out here at my channel? And of course, don't forget, get your geek on at thegaminggang.com.